Hello, friends. Hello, welcome to another Friday. And you know what that means? It's Free Thought Fridays, y'all. Free Thought Fridays. Welcome to an episode of I Play Games and Film It, and indeed Free Thought Fridays. Today, we are going to be discussing what a real job, the term real job, is supposed to mean. Because a lot of people use it, and I don't think they all use it for it to mean the same thing. So that's what we're going to be discussing. So from the top, now personally I immediately I'm going to jump on this one and just go, I think it is actually a generational gap. I think it's a cultural and generational gap as to what a real job is. Primarily because people of the earlier generation, or the older people, I would put it that way, make it easier to understand. Older people, they certainly lived in a time where there were perhaps less options available to them, and they weren't quite as free to pick the jobs that were out there. It was really more of a case of, there is a job, you must work. That was kind of it, and it's gotten more and more free as time came on. So I think obviously depending on who's saying get a real job, or you should have a real job, or something like that, it is quite dependent on the age of the person saying it. And I think that has been passed down, as things do. I think it has been passed down through the ages, from person to person. So even today, there might be people who are still probably saying it in an old-fashioned context, upon which they just say, you know, stop doing shift work, or stop trying to live your dreams out. Just get a real job and deal with it. And that's probably it. Now, in that same respect, I think today it's kind of changed a little bit because of the freedom of jobs and the availability out there. I think now a real job has kind of broadened out a little bit, because there are jobs that actually, need to be done, but maybe aren't quite as real as others. I think certainly there will be roles that do require shift work that actually are of high importance. I'll leave you guys to decide what those things are, but they will still be considered real jobs. So it kind of now has blurred the lines between what is a real job then, and to certain people, and what it is to certainly the present generation who are now currently going into work and looking around for jobs now. Certainly those who are feeling under pressure to ensure that they're doing a real job to make everyone around them happy, so they're not getting shit for not doing a real job. So yeah, I think today it's certainly moved on quite a bit. Now, the reason I think it's all getting confused is because of that. It's because of this crossover now we're getting, where some people consider a real job, and I did get a little philosophical in my head regarding all this, but I think some people say real job using the context of their own reality. So what they're suggesting is a real job is actually a role that you just do to pay the bills. It is literally a job that is just a job. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily just like part of your ambition or aspiration, or anything that you wanted out of life, or anything you wanted to do. It was just a role that you kind of took on and did, and that role is just something that you do to keep you ticking over, so you can pay for your mortgage and your car and your 2 kids and your dog and blah 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 blah. And I think sometimes that I actually get the impression that's what people mean when they say real job, because it is within the boundaries of their miserable, limited lifestyle, because that's the lifestyle they've grown up to understand and know. Real job means how people say, use the word real in kind of a negative context, and they're all like, get real and be real and stop, living with your head in the clouds and so on and so forth. What they're saying is their idea of life sucks, and therefore their idea of life is real to them. Therefore they want to, they want no one else to be happy so much. They want everyone to live real, which is miserable. So I genuinely do think that when people say get a real job, I actually do think that's what they mean. They mean get a job that will make you fucking as miserable as they are. So I think in that regard as well, it's all gotten a little bit lost. Why I don't want to say why it bothers me, because it doesn't so much. I guess because I heard it so much and people use it so much in a really condescending term as well. It's a real kind of downer on your existence, as it were, because it kind of makes you feel like, you know, you're not doing right by them, which makes no fucking difference anyway. But it's just this idea that when I hear it all the time, I just kind of go, well, what is a real job? What exactly is a real job? I don't understand that. I really don't get it. And I think after a long time thinking about it, I kind of just came to this conclusion that what I see, honestly, a real job to be is just one that you just have, one that you're contracted to do, one that you get paid for, and, you know, one that allows you to live and eat and so on and so forth. I mean, I guess where it gets lost in that kind of description is volunteer work and stuff. I know I've heard some people, not everyone, but some people, you know, you ask them what they do for work and they might go, well, I volunteer, as if to say, well, it's not necessarily, you know, something that I do for money and so on. It's not a job per se, but it is what I do. Some people will say, well, my job is I volunteer at you know, the local soup kitchen or something like that. But no, that's where I do also get a little bit lost, because obviously that doesn't fit into my description. It is a job. But no, real jobs, I just think it's a null and void statement. It doesn't mean anything, because a real job is something that someone does to earn money. I guess that's it. And the very basic level, it's what you do to earn money. So it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, it's funny, I was thinking there's a guy who, I think he doesn't farm them, he's like a turtle caretaker or something. He's like the best job in the world or something like that. Like, he cleans pools and looks after tortoises or turtles or something, and it's deemed to be one of the best jobs in the world. That, in the context of what a real job is to some people, doesn't fit in at all, because probably what they're thinking is they want, like, you know, a 9 to 5, they want office, they want wear a suit to work and have your health plan sorted and your pension covered and your dental covered, and, you know, it's salary paid, and, you know, there's a career path for you somewhere where you could hit some top level and be the CEO and all that kind of thing. And I'm just like, well, yeah, okay, that's, I wouldn't say that's a real job. I'd call that a generic job, definitely. That's the middle of the road vanilla ice cream square box job, but not a real job. Because that doesn't define, it can't define a real job so much. Yeah, on top of the tortoise / turtle caretaker guy, I know that some people have jobs, like, there's a guy who basically kind of got paid to, I think it was, he grew hundreds? I'm going to play safe and say at least dozens. I'm sure there's more than that. At least dozens of different species of tomato. That was this guy's, like, role. That's what he did. And again, like, you kind of think, that can't be considered a real job. It's like, well, he got paid for it. He took his time out, he did it, and he got paid for it. And right now, I mean, look at YouTube, for example. Jesus, like, these people basically, some people will film their life. They film what they're doing, basically, on a regular basis, and they will get paid for it. Some of them rather handsomely. And that is their job, and they'll consider it their full-time job, and their job description is YouTuber. Oh, their job title is YouTuber. That's what they do. And, you know, do you want to consider that a real job? Well, of course you do, because it is an established and perhaps well-paid role that you participate in. So I do think, honestly, the term real job now, because of the variety of different roles out there at this time, I just don't think the term real job can even be used anymore, unless it is literally in the context that I discussed earlier, regarding, you know, misery, basically, regarding other people's misery because they haven't been ambitious enough in themselves to find a job that they actually wanted. They basically ended up just existing, and that was it. They literally just existed, took a job that they thought, you know, would be good, and then wanted to push their misery upon everyone else who actually put some thought into what they wanted to do with themselves. So that's kind of where I picture what a real job is supposed to be. A real job is a job that you just get paid for, and it's just in a way, it doesn't really mean anything anymore. I've kind of contradicted myself a little bit. But no, that's it. That's it. I don't think the term real job should be used anymore, even though I've kind of defined it. And I just think it's null and void. I think it's a horrible term. It's almost a derogatory term towards someone who isn't believed to be doing what they should be doing with themselves. Someone who's believed to just have lost their way or something like that. So yeah, that's basically my perspective and kind of my belief on what a real job is. So on that note, that'll be the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, comment, click the thumb button. Do comment on anything that I've said in the episode. Comment on what you believe a real job should be. Let us know if anyone's given you that term and it's kind of, bugged you out a little bit, or if it's perhaps given you some food for thought, perhaps. And if you have any personal beliefs on what you think a real job is. But yeah, that's about it. Next week, guys, is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to do a short list. It'll be the 5 reasons YOLO, or whatever, can actually better your life. That's going to be next week's episode. I'm really looking forward to doing that one. So yeah, next week, 5 reasons, 5 ways that YOLO is good for you and can better your existence and life. Alright guys, you have a wonderful week, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in another episode of I Play Games and Film It. You take care guys, bye bye.